Almost 3 years since the UK and the European Union finalised the Brexit deal, the UK is now proposing changes to part of it, specifically the laws related to trade in Northern Ireland. London is expected to publish the new legislation today, potentially setting up a collision clause with the EU over the changes. The UK government is unhappy with the Northern Ireland Protocol. It defines how trade in Northern Ireland works after Brexit. When Britain left the EU, Johnson's government agreed to leave Northern Ireland inside the EU's single market for goods. It prevents a hard border with the rest of Ireland, but means checks on some goods arriving from other parts of the UK, effectively creating a new trade border in the Irish Sea. But to understand the problem, we need to go back and understand Brexit and the need for the border in the first place. Northern Ireland is the only part of the UK to share a border with any EU country. Therefore, special arrangements were needed. Before Brexit, goods were transported across borders between various EU countries without the need for any checks or paperwork. But after Brexit, a new system was needed because EU has strict food rules and needs border checks for certain goods like milk and eggs, and they arrive from non-EU countries. Relations between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland is also a sensitive issue due to its troubled political history. A border was ruled out fearing further instability. It was instead agreed that the checks would be conducted instead between the rest of the UK and Northern Ireland. But the agreement has been a source of tension since it came into force in 2021. The Northern Ireland Secretary, Brandon Lewis, said that the new legislation will fix the problems. The new laws are expected to scrap most of the checks, creating a green channel to make trade easier between Northern Ireland and the rest of the United Kingdom. Overriding the Brexit treaty could breach international laws, a charge that the UK has consistently denied. The government today plans to also set out its legal position when it introduces the new legislation. Any bill would have to be approved by Parliament, a process which could take months. The European Union last October acknowledged issues with the protocol and put forward its own proposals, but all changes were rejected by the United Kingdom.
We have said directly to him that the proposed unilateral act of legislating at Westminster is wrong. It seems to us absolutely extraordinary that the British government would propose to legislate to break the law.
British Foreign Minister Liz Truss told the European Union's Vice President today that the UK preferred a negotiated solution, but to achieve that, the EU must be willing to change the protocol itself. In Northern Ireland itself, unionist parties like the DUP, who want to stay part of the UK, favour the changes, saying that the protocol has led to extra administrative costs and also undermined the relation between them and the rest of the United Kingdom. And for more on this, joining us is our correspondent Sally Patterson, who is joining us from London. Sally, good to see you. How significant is this protocol both to the UK and Northern Ireland? And will there be a dilemma when UK government alters the proposals?
Well, as you say, this is a hugely controversial, hugely important and hugely historic protocol. Now, we've seen controversy around the protocol since the Brexit agreement more than 2 years ago now, and yet we still see controversy. We still see real arguments on both sides. Now, this morning, ahead of proposed changes to the protocol being announced by the British government, we've heard that the British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has been in conversations with her Irish counterpart, and he has basically said that the Irish will not accept these proposals. Now, Simon Coveney, who is the Foreign and Defence Minister for Ireland, said that publishing legislation would breach the UK's commitments under international law and the Brexit withdrawal agreement. And Minister Coveney said it marks a particularly low point in the UK's approach to Brexit, especially as Secretary Truss has not engaged with negotiations, he said, with the EU in any meaningful way since February. He said that far from fixing problems, this legislation will create a whole new set of uncertainties and damage relationships. Now, that conversation is said to have only lasted 12 minutes. So we don't get the sense that it was necessarily the most constructive, and we'll have to wait and see what happens later today in order to understand what is actually going to be the basis of those changes.
Sally, away from this protocol, what is causing this standoff between the two Irelands and the UK government, and why has it taken so long to resolve the dispute?
Well, as you say, this came about during the Brexit negotiations, and the idea was not to have a hard border between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. Now, the idea was therefore to be able to pass goods relatively freely between the two nations. Now, what we've seen, according to critics of the protocol, is that there has been a sort of trouble in getting medicines and getting food across the border, which, the UK says is unacceptable. However, the Republic of Ireland completely dismisses these. In fact, it says that this is the most efficient system, and actually Northern Ireland is flourishing because of the systems currently in place. And the Sinn Féin president, which which is in charge in Ireland, says the government seems to be there is a willingness to engage by the European Commission that the British government has refused to engage, has not been constructive, and has sought a destructive path, and is now proposing to introduce legislation that will undoubtedly breach international law. Now, both the European Union and the Republic of Ireland say that currently the rules are working. Why change them? Why potentially bring up age-old challenges and tensions between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland?
We'll have to end it there. Live from London, our correspondent Sally Patterson. Thank you very much. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.